What's up, guys? Welcome to episode 2 of the Road to 300. The thing I think that really made surgery a no-brainer for me is, as I kind of touched on in the last video, surgery is something that I really considered for a long time and was chronically and constantly talked out of. I would lie to myself that, oh, I don't need the surgery, I'm just going to try this other thing and lose the weight naturally. And again, that was always through like Weight Watchers, personal training. I'm gonna stop eating this, instead I'm gonna eat this, I'm gonna do this diet program, I'm gonna do this exercise routine, and it just never worked consistently. I would hit a plateau and lie to myself like, oh, it's okay, and then eventually I would give up and go back to not only my old habits but worse habits, because now I can have those foods that I said I wasn't gonna eat anymore again. And so there was a panic to it, and again, I touched on this in the last video, but there was no such thing as moderation. So what we got right here is these hand-patted burgers and these hand-cut French fries. Ha! Hot! Hot! I would just destroy myself with food to the point of like genuine discomfort. I mean, genuinely being in pain, but that didn't stop me. I have this thing in my brain that equates being miserably full to value as opposed to quality to value, and that's something that I'm still working on to this day. Even though I have a small stomach, like for the most part my cravings are 100% gone, but like there is like every now and then there's that thought in my head of just like, oh man, like I want that, or like I want to be able to have more of that. But when I stick to the routine that they give me, which is like putting my fork down between each bite and chewing for like a really long time, it actually is amazing how full you get and how quickly you get that full. So yeah, it's just been really nice. And going back to like the pre-op stuff, again, I would get off of a diet plan and go back to the same habits I was doing but worse, and then a few months down the line I'd wake up 20, 50, 100 pounds heavier, wondering what the f happened and why did I give up in the first place. And I think the final kicker as to why I was going to get surgery, and granted, surgery is not for everybody, it's just, it was for me, because again, I need those hard set rules, and I needed someone to go into my body to make it to where it's borderline impossible to consume, especially at the rate that I was. And so I was literally, again, this sounds very corny, cheesy, whatever, but it's the honest truth. I was laying in bed next to my girlfriend, and I am absolutely head over heels for this woman. And so I never cared about myself. I would always talk down about myself. Again, we want to be honest, I considered suicide on a multitude of different occasions. I would joke about killing myself on a regular basis. And then it just kind of hit me like, but why? You know, it's easy to get into those depressed states, and I'm far from perfect even now, like with the weight loss and everything like that. I'm currently just over 80 pounds down. And I mean, I'm feeling great, but even now, like there's like moments of like being like blue and melancholy, and especially around the holidays. I mean, like that's a whole other backstory and a cup of coffee, but yeah, I just like I didn't care about myself for the longest time, and I didn't care about sticking around. But now I'm with somebody who I want to maximize my time with, and so getting healthy was just, it had to happen. It was just a no-brainer. Like I want to have a family with this woman. I want to get married, I want to have a family with this woman. And I don't want my weight to stop that or get in the way of that. I want to be able to play. I want to be able to have kids. Like I've always wanted to be a dad. I want a lot of kids, as selfish as that sounds. And I want to be able to play with them. I want to be able to enjoy them. And I don't want to be the fat dad who can't do certain things because of his weight. And that was going to be my eventuality. And I mean, I was flirting with a heart attack at any given point. I mean, or any other thing that comes from being as overweight as I was. Again, my heaviest weight was 493 pounds. just to put into perspective, 493 pounds. I was almost 500 pounds. And again, I just had that moment where I just was like, you know what? I don't care to be talked out of this. I don't care what people are going to say. I need to get the surgery. I need to do this for me. I need to do this for my family. And I need to do this for my future family, which I want. And yeah, that was really the kicker that pushed me towards the surgery. And it also doesn't hurt the fact that I get to live in Los Angeles, which I've dreamed about since I was a kid. And I was tired of my career as a full-time filmmaker, which has been a dream of mine since I was a kid. And I was tired of my relationships with my friends and my family and my girlfriend, hopefully future wife, being impacted by my weight again. There were so many things that I had to say no to, or that we had to get special accommodations for. Even now, again, I'm still on the road to 300, fat but not as fat, but still, it's like it just wasn't fun anymore. And my weight was not only impacting my quality of life but my girlfriend's, because she too was saying no to things so I didn't feel left out. And that's wrong. That's so wrong. We're in our early 20s. There's no reason to say no to things, or to have to stop ourselves from doing certain things because of my weight. So and going back to the heavier topic of suicide and different things like that, like that is 100% the biggest battle when it comes to obviously not only just life in general, but like your weight. Because I would eat out of depression, out of happiness, just because I didn't really need a reason to be disgusting. And after relaying a story to my girlfriend that I had not faced since I was 7 years old, was like my final like aha. When I was 7 years old, I was walking to my grandmother's house, and a street over, I used to hang out with this kid, and he had an older sister who always thought I was cute. And I was walking home, and she had to have been like 16, 17 years old at the time, and she was walking with one of her friends, and she said, "Give me a kiss." And I was a little kid, and girls were the last thing on my mind, so I said no. And she grabbed me, she kissed me, and she shoved her tongue down my throat, and then she reached her hand into my pants and squeezed my and my as hard as humanly possible, to the point where I thought that they were literally going to burst. And eventually she stopped, and I got to go home, and I never really thought about it again until just a year ago, and I was like, holy. And I think a lot of people have stories like that, unfortunately. I think a lot of weird things happen when you're a kid, and I think, at least for me, like comboed with like all the other that happened when I was a kid, like it just kind of like went away from my mind. Like I kind of deleted it for a while, or I guess just like put it somewhere like that I would never really think about it. And I don't know, like that, it wasn't just that event that led to my weight, obviously, but like that was kind of like the starter of like a lot of heavy things that would happen when I was just like a little kid, and that impacted my relationship with women in general, especially like early relationships that I would have. And so again, I didn't give a sorry, I'm really trying not to swear on these, but I didn't give a to put my guard down and to be vulnerable. Oh, hi.
How are you feeling?
Kind of like no, I'm good.
Day one.
Day one. But this last time, when I finally started looking into the surgery again for the final time, obviously because I got it, I was referred to Dr. Quilisi, and fortunately enough for me, he's one of the most renowned surgeons in the country. I mean, people literally fly in from like other parts of the country just to go to him. And once I really started looking into what the surgery is, how invasive it is, that's when gastric bypass itself seemed like a no-brainer. I could have also got this thing called the gastric sleeve, but the only reason I didn't want to do that is because it's non-reversible. I mean, not that I ever plan to have the bypass reversed anyway, but if I did need to, for whatever the case may be, it is an option. So meeting with him, meeting with my nutritionist, it's just been such a dream. And I said it in the last video, and I still say it when I see them. I thank them every single time that I see them, because those people in that office saved my life. So again, I just want to keep this video short and sweet, so I hope you enjoyed episode 2. And don't forget to like, favorite, share, subscribe. Thank you so much to everybody who watched the first video and shared it. If you want to go ahead and do the same, I wouldn't be offended, but no, seriously. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. Hashtag Road to 300. We'll see you in the next one.